I transmigrated into an Angst novel as its male lead. It was the day we finalized our divorce. Just as I was about to sign, several scrolling comments suddenly appeared before my eyes. Brace yourselves. Wife chasing hell arc incoming. Haha. Waiting for this scumbag to refuse the divorce, then cry his eyes out and kneel before the heroine, begging forgiveness. Make him suffer to death. He will not sign. This is when he should come to his senses. He must know Ningbing was framed by that first love, right? Looking at those comments, I merely smiled. Then I decisively signed the divorce papers. I was not the real male lead. Why should I go through a wife-chasing hell arc? I had transmigrated into a novel, becoming the male lead of an old-school, melodramatic Angst novel. The CEO's love-seeking wife, a cold and ruthless man, blind and utterly oblivious, a paranoid, possessive lunatic, the scumbag, domineering CEO male lead Fang Yuan, ultimately destined for a wife-chasing hell arc. Right then, I was at the Civil Affairs office finalizing a divorce. A beautiful woman sat beside me, but her face was white as paper. She was by Ningbing, my legal wife, though not for much longer. In the original novel, throughout our 3-year marriage, I had treated her inhumanely. I neglected her, humiliated her, and misunderstood her. I even caused her miscarriage. I was a complete scumbag, yet I was desperately in love with her. After being egged on by a sweet-faced, calculating bitch, and provoked by the man entangled with by Ningbing, her so-called old flame, I went to extremes. The novel also said, at first, the male lead self-destructs, while the heroine suffers every humiliation. Later, the male lead wakes up and begins his wife-chasing hell arc. In the end, his legs are broken, and he goes bankrupt. He nearly dies, but the heroine does not forgive him. The male lead is put through hell. There is only one word for it: miserable. As I was thinking, several lines suddenly floated before my eyes. They were colorful and translucent, partially blocking my view. Brace yourselves. Wife chasing hell arc incoming. Fang Yuan, you dog, wake up already. Look at all Ningbing has sacrificed for you. If you sign, you are finished. I bet 50 cents. He will tear up the agreement and roar. I will not agree to this. Such a classic scene. Scrolling comments. I understood. They were viewers from another world. They were watching the show, waiting to see me suffer, watching me regret it, watching me take that doomed path of chasing my wife through hell. I looked at those words and laughed. The corner of my mouth curled. What the hell does a wife chasing hell arc have to do with me? I am not the original Fang Yuan. Why should I endure hell in that man's place? Broken legs, bankruptcy, kneeling down to beg for mercy. You have got to be kidding. Isn't freedom great? My survival instinct surged fiercely. Escape all of this. Now. Immediately, the clerk pushed over the agreement, placing it before me, then pointed to the signature line. Bai Ningbing did not look at me. She lowered her head and stared at the desk. Her eyes remained empty. She was signing her copy. She wrote her name quickly, pressing down hard, as if fleeing something. The pen was by my hand. I picked it up at once. The comments kept floating past, thick and fast. His expression is so cold. Is he really signing? No way. It is an act. It has to be an act. He is about to explode. Waiting for the iconic scene. Get your screenshots and recordings ready. I did not even glance at those noisy comments. I simply grabbed the pen and signed Fang Yuan's name. My handwriting was quick and steady. There was not a trace of hesitation. My wrist did not tremble once. When I finished, I set it down and pushed it to the clerk. Done. My voice sounded almost lighthearted. The entire hall was quiet. Only the air conditioner hummed. The clerk was a little stunned. They looked at the agreement, then at me, then at Bai Ningbing. They had probably never seen such a clean-cut divorce, especially from President Fang, rumored to love his wife so deeply. Bai Ningbing had finished signing too. She raised her head. Those hollow eyes finally looked at me. They were no longer purely numb. Something else appeared in them. Shock and disbelief. The comments exploded. Holy hell, he signed. He really signed. Director, this is not the script. Where is the dramatic tearing up of the agreement? Where is his sudden realization? Where is my wife chasing hell arc? This is not what I paid to see. Refund me. The clerk quickly completed the paperwork. They were quite efficient. 2 red certificates were handed over. The divorce certificates were in our hands. It was done. I was emotionally free. I stood and stretched. Bai Ningbing was still sitting there. She stared down at the red certificate in her hands, as if it were a branding iron. I did not look at her. I turned and left. My strides were long and hurried. I wanted to get out of there as fast as possible. The comments raced by like mad. He is just leaving like that. He really left without even looking back. He just abandoned the heroine there. Where is my wife chasing? Where is my hell arc? Did the screenwriter go eat shit or what? Fang Yuan, get back here. Come back and kneel down to apologize. Is he getting away far too easily? When I stepped out of the Civil Affairs office, the sunlight was blinding. Traffic thronged outside, and the air felt much fresher. The driver pulled the car up. A black luxury sedan stopped at the curb. I opened the door and got in. These leather seats were truly comfortable. President Fang, Shall we return to the company now? I gave a quiet hum of assent. I leaned back in the rear seat and closed my eyes. My head still throbbed painfully, but the weight in my heart was gone. I felt lighter than ever before. The car started, merging into traffic. The civil affairs office fell behind us. My phone vibrated. I pulled it out and looked. The screen lit up. A contact named by Yueguang was flashing. By Yueguang, the black-hearted schemer in the novel who framed Bai Ningbing. She made the original Fang Yuan misunderstand her. She was the true cause of Bai Ningbing's miscarriage. She was also one of the triggers for his later wife-chasing hell arc. The comments immediately erupted. Here it comes. Bai Yueguang is calling. She must be calling to comfort him. That dog Fang Yuan will definitely go cry to her. May that scumbag man and woman stay locked together. Leave our Ningbing alone. I looked at that name and felt nothing but disgust. I declined the call with a swipe of my finger. I dragged that name into the blacklist. Half the world became quieter. The comments exploded again. Why did that scumbag hang up and blocked her outright? What the hell? What the hell kind of move is that? That is not how this story goes. Fang Yuan, wake up. Could he know that Bai Yueguang framed Bai Ningbing? So, what if he does? Too late, scumbag. The driver looked at me through the rearview mirror. President Fang. It was Miss Bai. Do not mention her name again. My voice was quiet, but icy. The driver immediately fell silent. Understood, President Fang. My phone rang again. This time, it was my assistant. I answered at once. President Fang, have you finished the paperwork? My assistant spoke cautiously, testing the waters. Yes, we are divorced. Should we arrange compensation for Miss Bai? Not 1 cent. Follow the prenuptial agreement. As I recalled, the prenuptial agreement had been signed by Bai Ningbing. She was to leave with nothing, because Bai Yueguang had claimed that Bai Ningbing was carrying another man's child. The original male lead directly caused Bai Ningbing to miscarry, then made her leave with nothing. Have someone pack her things and throw them out of the Fang house. Do not send them to the wrong place, and make sure to take back her keys. My assistant audibly choked on his words. Understood, President Fang. What should we tell Chairman Fang? He has always thought highly of Miss Bai. Chairman Fang was the original Fang Yuan's father. In the novel, he treated Bai Ningbing rather well. Too bad his son was a complete piece of trash. Later, he threw the male lead out without giving him a single cent. I will handle him myself. We are heading back to the company now. Gather every department head. There will be a meeting in 1 hour. I want the latest financial reports and project updates. Everything from the past year. If anyone is absent from the conference room in 30 minutes, they can submit their resignation themselves. Yes, President Fang. I will arrange it right away. My assistant's voice instantly turned tense. I hung up. By then, the comments were flying by so fast. They were dizzying. What the hell kind of divorce is this? This is severing all ties and uprooting every last trace. That is ice cold. Bai Ningbing wasted 3 years of her youth on a dog. He blocks Bai Yueguang, kicks Bai Ningbing aside, then goes back to work. What possessed Fang Yuan? Did his career obsession awaken? Is he off to make money? He has completely torn up the wife-chasing hell arc script. Ha. What a bitter laugh. I arrived at the company. The moment I pushed open my office door, a figure lunged at me, trailing perfume. It was Bai Yueguang. Her eyes were red, as though she had been crying. Her voice came out cloyingly sweet. Yuan, why did you block me? What did I do wrong? I stepped aside. She missed me and nearly fell. Yuan, darling? She turned back, looking wounded and shocked. I walked past her and sat behind my desk. Looking up, I spoke coldly. Who let you in? I heard from your assistant that you got divorced. I was worried about you. She moved closer, her eyes brimming with tears. Get out. What? Bai Yueguang froze. When she did not move, I pointed at the door and repeated myself. Now, immediately, get out of my office. Do not come within a step of this place again. Her face turned white, then flushed red. Yuan, darling, how could you? Security. I pressed the intercom. The comments went wild. Damn, that is ruthless. He treats Bai Yueguang like that too. Bai Yueguang's face turned green. Haha, what a resounding slap in the face. So satisfying. As Fang Yuan lost his mind. Does he hate everyone now? Security soon came in. What is it? President Fang. Escort Miss Bai out. Without my permission. She is not to enter this company again. I lowered my head to the documents and did not look at her again. The guard turned to Bai Yueguang. Miss Bai, please leave. Fang Yuan, you bastard. I will never speak to you again. Bai Yueguang let out a shriek. The guards half escorted, half dragged her away. At last, the office was quiet again. The comments kept flooding in. He really threw her out. That is incredible. Bai Yueguang is a nobody now. The plot has completely fallen apart. What is this turn of events? I do not understand it. but I am deeply shaken. Has the scumbag turned over a new leaf? No, this is not turning over a new leaf. It is like he got a new brain. I ignored the comments. The butler called me again. He said my father wanted me home immediately. I had nearly forgotten there was still old Master Fang to deal with. I returned to the Fang family estate. Old Master Fang sat on the sofa, his face livid. Unexpectedly, Bai Ningbing was there too. She stood in the middle of the living room, an open suitcase at her feet. She was placing several folded outfits inside. Hearing my footsteps, she paused, but did not turn around. She continued packing. The old man saw me and slammed his hand on the sofa armrest. You bastard. You had better explain yourself. Dad, you can see for yourself. The paperwork is complete. Once she finishes packing, she will leave. The old man rose to his feet in fury. Leave? Who said she could leave? He strode over to Bai Ningbing and pressed a hand down on her suitcase lid. Ningbing, put that down. If anyone is leaving, it will not be you. Bai Ningbing's hand stopped midair. The old man whirled toward me. His finger nearly jabbed my nose. You are the one who should get out. Fang Yuan, I do not have room for a heartless, blind and foolish son like you. The comments exploded again. Holy hell. Old Master Fang is amazing. That dog Fang Yuan must be pissing himself by now. He is about to kneel and beg, right? Waiting for the scumbag to sob and beg for forgiveness. The old man's chest heaved as he turned to comfort Bai Ningbing. Ningbing, do not leave. Yuan has truly changed. I just received word that he blocked that old flame of his, and he will not let her come to the company anymore. Yuan still loves you. Bai Ningbing's eyes held a trace of surprise. She seemed unable to understand that I would truly do it for her. Block the old flame I loved most. When the old man saw that I said nothing, he spoke again in a fury. Fang Yuan, let me make this clear today. If you truly dare divorce Ningbing, then get out of this house. The Fang family has no heir like you. Ningbing is so wonderful, yet you did not cherish her, and you have tormented her again and again. Without her, you are nothing. He stared at me as though waiting for me to beg, waiting for me to take it back. I looked at him, then glanced at Bai Ningbing. She was looking at me too. Her lips pressed tightly together. The tension was palpable. I nodded. My voice was calm. Fine, I can leave. The old man froze. Bai Ningbing's eyes widened slightly. A faint flash of an indecipherable emotion flickered through them. Was it utter shock or curiosity? I could not read her, nor did I want to guess. The comments froze for a second, then erupted. What did he say? Fine. All he said was, fine? No. Wait, did he get the wrong script? Old Master Fang told him to get out of the family, and he said fine? He is insane. Fang Yuan has completely lost it. Look at Bai Ningbing's face. She never expected this either, right? Holy crap. Holy crap. Holy crap. What kind of insane twist is this? The wife-chasing hell arc script was burned to ashes in one stroke. He is even giving up his family. The old man's mouth hung open. For a long while he could not speak, his face turning beet red. Bai Ningbing's gaze was fixed on my face. I did not look at either of them again. I turned and went upstairs, returning to my room to pack. Freedom tasted damn refreshing. The comments kept pouring in. He does not want the family fortune. He does not want the inheritance just to get divorced. Bai Ningbing, I spent 3 damn years preparing a heart-wrenching romance, and this is what I get. The plot has collapsed. This story is unreadable now. Just then, Bai Ningbing frowned and stopped me. She spoke coolly. Fang Yuan, I am the one leaving, but I still need to tell you this. The baby I lost was yours, not Wang Dateng's. I never did anything to wrong you, and you do not need to play hard to get any more. I will never see you again. I raised a hand to shield my eyes, squinting as I smiled. I will see you off, 1,000 miles away. That is exactly what I want. There may be a company banquet tonight. Whatever you do not come. Do not let me see you there. Bai Ningbing frowned. A trace of anger glinted in her eyes. I lowered my eyes, rubbing my fingertips as I continued. If you do not come tonight, then Wang Dateng will not come either. I will not let Bai Yueguang come, and everything will be fine. I am begging you, do not come. Bai Ningbing was taken aback. She did not understand what I meant. I had read the original novel. Of course, I knew all its ridiculous melodrama. There was a banquet tonight. When the male lead saw Bai Ningbing arrive with Wang Dateng, he flew into a rage and kissed Bai Yueguang on the spot. It drove the rift between the leads even deeper. The male lead also beat Wang Dateng in a rage, leaving the heroine completely disappointed in him. Finally, the male lead's father publicly stripped him of his inheritance. Then the male lead was driven out, destitute and disgraced. Thus began his desperate quest to win his wife back. Right now, I preferred less trouble over more. If Bai Ningbing did not come, none of it would happen. We could part amicably, and everyone would be happy. But if they dared show up, then they could not blame me for dropping all pretenses. I had already uncovered evidence the original novel never mentioned. Freedom felt this good. Who wants to play games of love and hate with you people? How boring. No chasing anyone. No groveling for anyone. No being held hostage by the plot. My own time. My own space. My own future. Forget winning a wife back. Forget tragic, tortured love. Anyone who wants that can have it. I do not. I am going to make money, and build my career. I am going to build a life of freedom. But Bai Ningbing suddenly lifted her head. For once, she looked straight at me. I am going. What right do you have to stop me? Sure enough, the comments in front of me instantly went wild. Some said she had entered a rebellious phase. Others were already waiting for tonight's dramatic showdown. Some even declared that I would sob my heart out at the banquet, kneeling to beg Bai Ningbing's forgiveness. Even more absurdly, someone opened betting odds on me versus Wang Dateng. They were certain tonight would be a massive public showdown. If I did not lose my mind on the spot, the viewer who had read the original novel would even eat while standing on his head. What is wrong with these people? I could not be bothered with Bai Ningbing, much less those comments. Shaking my head, I returned to the company. The conference room was already full. Thick documents covered the table, and the projector was on. Everyone sat rigidly, stealing glances at me. In their eyes, I had just gotten divorced today. My mood had to be at rock bottom. Besides, the old Fang Yuan had been uneducated and incompetent, good for nothing but barking pointless orders. They were all bracing for my anger. That was why the vast conference room was silent. The air was painfully tense. Everyone sat bolt upright, their eyes full of unease and bewilderment. After all, as they remembered it, President Fang only solved problems with money and temper. I took the seat at the head of the table without wasting a word. Begin. Finance goes first. The finance director stood at once. He reported from revenue and profit through cost and cash flow. He spoke quickly, though his voice trembled slightly. As I listened to the stream of numbers, my mind began analyzing them automatically. Before I transmigrated here, I worked in finance. The loopholes, inflated figures, and inconsistencies in those reports were obvious at a glance. Stop. I pointed at the projection. Third quarter marketing expenses are up 35% year over year. Explain. Cold sweat instantly beaded on the finance director's forehead. President Fang, we sponsored several major events, as well as celebrity endorsements. Which celebrities? Where is the endorsement performance assessment? Where is the return on investment data? Where is the event conversion tracking? I did not raise my voice, but each question drained more color from his face. Every word I spoke was like a small hammer striking the conference table. If you cannot produce them, then it was wasted money. Who approved this spending? He hurriedly explained. Miss Bai Yueguang recommended it before. Director Bai Ningbing also thought it was viable. Those two again. The comments were still accusing me of shifting blame, but I only looked at him. Bai Ningbing is no longer a director. I divorced her. She no longer has any connection to the Fang Group. As for Bai Yueguang, who is she? Since when does an outsider get to meddle in Fang Group affairs? The conference room fell deathly silent. After all, Fang Yuan had once obeyed Bai Yueguang's every word. No one expected me to say such a thing. Ignoring everyone's astonishment, I continued. For this expenditure, the finance department failed in its review. The supervisor will lose 3 months of bonuses. I looked at the finance director. Your year-end bonus is gone. Do not let it happen again. If it does, get out on your own. His knees buckled, and he nearly lost his footing. Yes, President Fang, I will investigate it thoroughly and hold those responsible accountable. Continue. I turned to the project manager. Why has the West Side land project been delayed for 2 months? He hurriedly stood up. He went from relocation issues to the approval process. As I listened, I interrupted him, pressing him on key milestones, responsible parties, and solutions. The atmosphere in the conference room slowly shifted from panic to awe. Everyone was sweating under my questions, but they had no choice but to respect me. I did not shout or insult anyone, yet every question struck at the heart of the matter. The tone of the comments changed too. Those waiting to see me break down over my divorce suddenly began wondering whether the shock had somehow unlocked my full potential. Some said my questions were professional and precise. Others admitted that a man focused on his career really did seem different. Of course, others desperately reminded them, do not switch sides. The meeting finally ended 3 hours later. Everyone looked like they had fought a brutal battle, utterly exhausted, but their eyes no longer held only fear. There was respect there too. I stood up. The issues found today. I want solutions on my desk before noon tomorrow. I want named personnel and a timetable. If you cannot do it, I will find someone who can. Yes, President Fang. Their answer was astonishingly unified. Instead of returning to my office, I went straight to my assistant. Find me a new apartment, downtown, with top-level security. It must be private. I am moving in tonight. Pack up anything useful from the Fang family home and send it over. Throw out the rest. My assistant froze for a moment. President Fang, you are not going back to the villa. That is the Fang family's house, not mine. I do not want to live with anyone from the Fang family right now. Understand? I will handle it immediately. And one more thing. Change every password, lock, and security system, especially at the villa. Sweep it from top to bottom. I do not want anyone near my property without permission. My assistant cautiously asked, including the old master, Bai Ningbing, and Bai Yueguang. Everyone. My assistant agreed without hesitation, but the comments were collectively stunned. Moving out, changing locks, striking out on his own. Some said I was striking out alone to become a lone wolf. Others began to think this angsty story was becoming surprisingly satisfying. After arranging everything, I returned to the CEO's office. Beyond the enormous floor-to-ceiling windows stretched the city's entire skyline. Golden sunset light spilled inside, illuminating the dust motes drifting through the air. I walked to the window and watched the traffic and pedestrians below. The comments were still speculating whether I regretted not winning by Ningbing back, even betting that I would call her any moment. I smiled without a sound. A bunch of people who cannot get any attention in real life came here to dictate other people's lives. Idiots. I touched the flash drive my assistant had just handed me, then took out my phone and called Attorney Lee. Set up a personal trust fund for me. All my movable assets, real estate, stocks, and investments outside the Fang Group will be placed in it for separate management. Completely separate them from the Fang Group. I will be the settler. There was silence for several seconds. Attorney Lee's voice turned grave. Understood, President Fang. I will handle any legal risks that need to be avoided. I will have it delivered before 10 tomorrow morning. I ended the call. I watched the sun disappear beneath the high rises. The comments finally fell silent for a moment. Then everyone began asking if I was making a will, whether I truly planned to remain alone and go down that road to the bitter end. They were even worried whether Bai Ningbing knew that I had locked away all my assets. Others finally realized that this so-called fight to win back my wife was never a fight I intended to join. At the banquet that evening, crystal chandeliers glittered overhead amid the noisy crowd. I stood in a corner with a glass of champagne, scanning the room. Sure enough, Bai Ningbing was there. Wang Dateng stood beside her, the two of them very close. I could not hear what they were saying. He wore a smug smile, while Bai Ningbing looked indifferent. Yet she did not move away. Elsewhere, Yuan flitted through the crowd like a social butterfly, weaving constantly through the crowd. She clearly saw herself as the hostess, except her gaze kept drifting toward me. The comments instantly grew excited. They were all waiting for me to lose it over these three people. Someone declared the grand showdown officially underway. Some said Wang Dateng grinned like a thief. Others noticed that Yueguang was still trying to lure me in. They had even opened bets, wagering how many minutes I could hold out before breaking down. Before long, Wang Dateng saw me too. With a curl of his lips, he put an arm around Bai Ningbing's waist and walked over. Bai Ningbing stiffened and tried to break free, but Wang Dateng would not let go. They stopped in front of me. He raised his glass and said insincerely, "President Fang, I hear you did something major today. Congratulations on getting your freedom back." He deliberately glanced at Bai Ningbing. "Ningbing and I are happy for you too." Bai Ningbing pressed her lips together, then said nothing. She only looked at me with a complicated expression. The comments practically wanted to hit him for me. Some cursed Wang Dateng for provoking me right to my face. Others pitied Bai Ningbing for being used as his tool. Yueguang came over as well. "Mr. Wang, Miss Bai, I do not think you should provoke Yuan right now. He is in a lot of pain, you." Wang Dateng gave a mocking laugh. "Pain? I think he has lost his mind. He is throwing away such a wonderful wife as Ningbing." Yueguang immediately stepped in front of me. "Mr. Wang, watch your language. You do not get to talk about Yuan like that." The comments were scrolling so fast they became unreadable. Everyone was urging me to curse him out because I had not exploded yet. They even wondered whether the shock had made me stupid. I looked at the three people before me, one provoking, one acting, and one silent. It was no different from watching a circus act. All I wanted was to make money in peace, but they insisted on coming to me one after another. Then they could not blame me for showing no mercy. I took out my phone and tapped the screen a few times. The giant screen that had been playing advertisements suddenly changed. It switched to a secretly filmed video with sharp images and crystal clear audio. In the video, Wang Dateng and Yueguang sat in a private room. The comments froze for a moment, then went completely insane. This scene had never existed in the original novel. They finally realized that I had known things beyond the story all along. Wang Dateng poured himself a drink and said with a smile, "Yueguang, that was a brilliant move. You bribed that doctor to insist that Ningbing's pregnancy was still in its early stages. The timing conveniently did not match the week Fang Yuan was away on business. That idiot Fang Yuan actually believed it." Yueguang covered her mouth and laughed. He deserved it. He only ever had eyes for that bitch, Bai Ningbing. I wanted him to force the abortion of his own child, then force Bai Ningbing out with nothing, so he would regret it for the rest of his life. And you did well too. Did you not deliberately invite Bai Ningbing to dinner that night? It was foolproof. Wang Dateng clinked glasses with her. "A pleasure doing business with you. All I want is Ningbing." That blind fool Fang Yuan lost Ningbing and offended his own father. The Fang family will be finished sooner or later. When Ningbing has nowhere left to turn, she will have no choice but to come back to me. Yueguang's eyes turned vicious too. "Fang Yuan has to be mine. How dare he reject me when he has nothing left and is kneeling to beg me? Just watch how I deal with him." The video kept playing, but the entire banquet hall had fallen deathly silent. Everyone stared at the giant screen. Wang Dateng's smile froze completely. Every trace of color drained from his face. He whipped around to look at me. The smugness in his eyes had become pure terror. Yueguang's fake tears and wounded expression froze on her face. Her mouth hung open as her entire body shook. She looked as though someone had pulled every bone from her body. Even her eyes lost focus. No, Yuan, listen to me. She tried to rush over and turn off the video. I gave her a cold glance, and she froze where she stood. But Bai Ningbing was the most shocked of all. She stared fixedly at the giant screen, her body swaying. The wine glass in her hand crashed to the floor and shattered. Red wine splashed across her white skirt, but she did not notice. She stood there, eyes wide. Her eyes first filled with disbelief, then turned empty, before cold fury slowly ignited within them. She turned her head painfully slowly. First, she looked at the ashen face Wang Dateng, then at the despairing Yueguang. Her lips trembled, but she could not say a word. Meanwhile, the comments had completely changed their tune. Those who had been waiting to see me kneel and beg were left speechless by the video. Some finally understood that my divorce, blocking Yueguang, and leaving the Fang family were never me playing hard to get. Others watched Bai Ningbing's face, realizing everything she had believed in was collapsing before her eyes. When the video ended, the giant screen went black. The banquet hall remained so quiet that a pin could drop. The truth had left everyone struggling to breathe. I set down the untouched champagne. Then I looked at the deathly pale Bai Ningbing. I spoke quietly, but my voice rang terrifyingly clear in the silent hall. Do you see it clearly now? These are the friends you trusted, and the wonderful man you nearly married back then. The child was mine. You did not betray me. They are the ones who betrayed you. I pointed at Wang Dateng and Yueguang. Then I looked back at Bai Ningbing. And you, who would never tell me anything. You gave so much for me. You did so much for me, but you would not speak. You had to keep everything bottled up. You kept tormenting yourself in silence. So melodramatic, so disgusting. You are guilty too. Bai Ningbing stood amid the broken glass and spilled wine. Her face was white as paper, her gaze lost in pain. It was as though her soul had been torn away. After that, I did not look at anyone again. Under hundreds of shocked, searching, fearful stares, and amid the exploding frenzy of comments, I walked through the silent crowd, and out of that glittering, nauseating banquet hall. The night breeze outside was cool. I took a deep breath. Behind me came Wang Dateng's faint, broken roar, Yueguang's piercing sobs, and Bai Ningbing's suppressed, shattered weeping. The comments kept asking what Bai Ningbing would choose, and urging me to turn back. Some said I had gone on a rampage tonight. Others said Wang Dateng and Yueguang had been completely ruined in public. But all I felt was that freedom's taste finally held something more. Truth. At noon the next day, I received the asset separation papers from my lawyer. My phone rang again. It was the old man again. The moment I answered, he ordered, Yuan, come home. I know all about what happened last night. I invited Ningbing back. Whether you reconcile is up to you. Come back now, explain everything, and apologize to her. You will still be family. The comments immediately erupted in cheers. They were convinced that bringing Bai Ningbing back to the Fang family meant our reconciliation was a certainty. Home. My tone was calm. Which home? The Fang family home? Did you not personally throw me out yesterday? You probably changed the name on the deed too. Did you not? He was instantly speechless. The comments erupted in laughter. Everyone asked whether the old man's face hurt from that slap. After a moment, the old man tried to reason with me. I only said that in anger. You are my son. We share the same blood. Everything in the Fang family was always meant to be yours. Just come back and live well with Ningbing. Dad, you are hilarious. Yesterday, for the sake of a daughter-in-law you decided was so perfect, you pointed in your own son's face and called me heartless, blind, and willfully oblivious. You told me to get out of this house. You said the Fang family had no heir like me. I repeated every word he had said yesterday. Every word cut deep, sharp and resounding. So, how did one night pass, and you discover your perfect daughter-in-law's miscarriage was caused by villains, and suddenly your precious son is not so blind after all. Now we share the same blood again, and the family fortune is mine again. The switch on blood ties and inheritance is remarkably flexible, is it not? Depends on your mood, does it? One comment flashed by. Critical hit after critical hit. My barrage of questions sent the comments pouring down like rain. Even those urging me to return began admitting the old man was truly in the wrong this time. The old man's breathing suddenly grew heavy. He was clearly furious. You ungrateful son. I am your father. Yes, that is what makes you even more ridiculous. A father. Protecting a daughter-in-law who is practically a stranger, one you have known only a few years, was willing to cut ties with his own son without hesitation and drive that son from his home. You did not ask why. You would not hear an explanation. You only believed what you wanted to believe. Your biased logic is truly touching. Now that the truth is out, you want to use I said it in anger and we share the same blood. To erase everything that happened yesterday. Dad, spilled water cannot simply be poured back. The moment you push me away with your own hands, I stopped being a member of the Fang family. Whether you take Bai Ningbing as your daughter or your daughter-in-law, that is your business. Leave me out of it. I am doing just fine. The comments finally got it. Some said the old man was undeniably at fault. Others said I was refusing emotional blackmail. There was a long silence on the other end. All I could hear was the old man's rough breathing. Some comments still worried about what Bai Ningbing would do next. Then Bai Ningbing took the phone. Her voice was hoarse and dry. Fang Yuan, can we talk alone? The comments grew excited again, as though if I'd just agreed, we would be headed straight to the registry office to remarry. I let out a scornful laugh. It carried clearly through the phone. Talk about what? How pitiful you were to be deceived for 3 years. How rare it is for me to finally be cleared. Or that we should treasure each other now, and put our broken marriage back together. Bai Ningbing, spare me. She remained silent. Yesterday, we both signed those divorce papers. My father threw me out of the Fang family, and he silently allowed it. In your heart, I am still that blind and willfully oblivious man who killed your child and tortured you for 3 years. Fang Yuan, you hate me, despise me, and want to escape me. Those feelings are not wrong, because for those 3 years, the man who abused you really did bear Fang Yuan's name and wear this face. Though I did not do those things, I accept that debt. That is why I signed the papers and left the Fang family. I have paid the price I owed. We are even now. Some commenters had already understood that the so-called groveling husband wins her back plot had been blown to pieces by my own hands. Now the truth is out, and you feel wronged, deceived, perhaps even sorry for me. There is no need. The one you owe is the Fang Yuan who truly loved you then, who was deceived and misled, the fool who made an unforgivable mistake. Sadly, you all drove him to his death together. I do not hate you now, and I owe you nothing. I need neither your guilt nor your compensation. Like that song says, I will send you away, 1,000 miles away. I am not worthy of your apology, so do not bother. Ms. Ex-wife, stay far away from trash like them from now on. Goodbye. No. Goodbye forever. I did not wait for her answer. I hung up. Then I blocked my father's number too. The world was finally peaceful. Sunlight spilled across the floor, warm and quiet. Freedom felt sweet, edged with decisive relief. But that phone call completely stunned the comments. They could not believe that I had called Bai Ningbing Ms. Ex-wife. Even less could they believe that even after the truth came out, I still would not turn back. Others kept repeating that line. You all drove him to his death. They demanded to know if I saw myself as another person. More people could only admit reconciliation had failed. The win her back plot had been completely rewritten. Some said the line, I accept that debt, was hard to hear. Others said calling her my ex-wife made the distance between us feel chilling. Others began asking who Bai Ningbing would cry to next. A few days later, I saw in the news that Wang Group's stock had plunged 90%. Fang Group had attacked their core projects from every front. Wang Group's cash flow had collapsed. Wang Dateng was investigated for commercial fraud and embezzlement. Private photos and recordings of Bai Yueguang were also leaked. They implicated her in extortion and sex for power deals. The Bai family went bankrupt, with creditors at their door. Bai Yuan was diagnosed with a mental disorder and sent to a treatment facility. When the comments saw the outcome, they declared the Angst story had turned into a satisfying revenge story. Some said old Master Fang had struck with thunderous force. Others said Bai Ningbing's finishing blow was precise and ruthless. They even urged me to go watch the spectacle. Then there was a sudden knock at my door. I opened it. Bai Ningbing stood outside. Her face was still pale, but her eyes no longer held only emptiness and confusion. There was more weariness and calmness now, and an emotion I could not quite name. She wore no makeup and was dressed simply. Can we talk? Not about getting back together. I stepped aside and let her in. The comments started speculating again, whether she truly meant it when she said she did not want to reconcile. Bai Ningbing did not sit. She simply stood in the middle of the living room, looking at me. Wang Dateng is finished. So is Bai Yueguang. Dad Chairman Fang made the move. I handed him the knife. I poured myself a glass of water. She continued. Everything has been cleared up. That miscarriage was Bai Yueguang's doing. She bribed the doctor and servants. She forged prenatal reports and call records. Wang Dateng provided money and connections. While you were away on business, he deliberately made it look as though there was something between us. I set down my glass. Bai Ningbing paused, looking at me with complicated emotions. We were both fools. We were kept in the dark and tortured each other for 3 years, like to puppets on strings. They had us dancing in the palm of their hands. We hated the wrong people and loved in all the wrong ways. So what? I asked. Bai Ningbing did not seem to expect that response. Bai Ningbing. I cut her off. You call us fools, not me. You think we were deceived, pitiful, and wronged. Now that the truth has cleared us, you think we should fall into each other's arms and weep, or at least forgive and forget. I took a step toward her. She instinctively stepped half a pace back. Stop being so melodramatic. The pain of the last 3 years was real. The harm was real. The miscarriage was real. And so was signing those divorce papers. Your hatred for me and your need to escape me were real. I signed the papers and got the hell out. That was real too. Now that the truth is out, can everything from those 3 years be erased? Can all that pain and harm be wiped away with one click? No, they are still there like scars. They remind us how foolish we were, how easily we were manipulated, and how badly we failed. Bai Ningbing's lips moved, but I gave her no chance to speak. You want to say that we clearly loved each other? Bai Ningbing, are you sure? 3 years ago, that blind and ignorant Fang Yuan, who expressed possessiveness through cruelty, did love you. His love was twisted and foolish. It hurt both you and himself. But the Bai Ningbing who was hurt, deceived, and full of resentment, who only wanted to escape. Are you sure she still loved him then? No, you hated him to the bone. That Fang Yuan is dead now. All of you, and he himself, drove him to his death. The man standing before you is not him. I do not hate you, but I cannot say I love you either. Toward you, I only feel the small moral responsibility that comes with you being my ex-wife. Or rather, I merely acted for that foolish Fang Yuan, to clean up the mess he left behind. Once that duty was done, we were even. As for you, stop obsessing over whether we love each other. It is too intangible. And stop dwelling on who was foolish or who owed whom. There is no point. Look forward and live your own life well. Being the Fang Group's daughter-in-law is enough to give you a very good life. Do not make love your entire life. Sometimes it is not even as practical as a hot meal. Bai Ningbing stood there, stunned. The tangled emotions in her eyes slowly gave way to bewilderment. After a long time, she finally asked softly, "Then what do you want now?" I smiled. "No one bothering me, and 3 meals a day. Peace and freedom. And staying far away from all of you and your troublesome messes. The farther, the better." Bai Ningbing said nothing else. She looked at me for a long time. Her eyes held shock, confusion, and lingering pain. At last, there seemed to be a trace of relief. She nodded, turned, and left without hesitation. The comments finally stopped urging either of us to chase the other. Someone said, perhaps the best outcome was for each of us to live well on our own. Time passed quickly. 1 year. Then 2. I was living well when my assets were separated from the Fang family. The old man had not been completely heartless. I left with considerable money, so I never returned to Fang Group. Instead, I used it to start investing. My luck was good, and I had a decent eye for opportunities. After several projects, my money doubled again and again. I had plenty of money, freedom over my time, and peace of mind. I no longer agonized over love or let romance trap me. Life was simple, and my goal was clear. Make money and enjoy life. Traveling, diving, skiing, or simply lying on my balcony in the sun, reading a book, sleeping late. No one controlled me. No one bothered me. Of course, at unavoidable industry summits or charity galas, I occasionally ran into Bai Ningbing. She now held a high position at Fang Group, personally trained by the old man. She acted decisively and wielded power with a firm hand. She was no longer the pale woman with empty eyes from before. The first time we met at a banquet, we nodded to each other across the crowd. We said nothing and passed by. The second time, at a reception, she approached with a glass of wine. It has been a long time. I hear you are doing well. Not bad. I am not going hungry. We clinked glasses, then went our separate ways. Later, we met more often. Sometimes, we exchanged a few words. We only discussed business and the market, never more than necessary. Like ordinary friends who had known each other for years. Or familiar strangers. Neither the past, love, nor reconciliation was mentioned again. By unspoken agreement, we turned that page for good. The comments occasionally still said, we still looked good together. But more people understood by then that moving forward separately was nothing to regret. At another banquet, I leaned against the bar, staring blankly at the crowd. Bai Ningbing came over, empty-handed. Want to talk? Sure. We went out onto the terrace. The night breeze was cool. Leaning on the railing, she looked at me for a long time. Her gaze shifted from curiosity to wistfulness, before softening into a faint smile. Fang Yuan, you are truly charming now. Her gaze was open and direct, as though she were merely stating a fact. I was a little surprised. Really? Is it the money? No. It is that quality you have. What quality? Nothing gets to you, and nothing can tie you down. Free and clear-minded. You know what you want, and what you do not. That is very attractive. The old you did not have it. The corner of my mouth twitched. That fool I used to be was nothing but caring too much and tying himself in knots. She did not argue. I took a sip of soda water. So, this is better. It is. She said nothing more, nor did I ask whether she was well, or whether the old man was, or how Fang Group was doing. There was no need. The best thing was for both of us to live well on our own. After standing there a while, we returned to the banquet hall, one after the other, back into the lights and noise, like to streams that briefly met, then quietly parted, flowing toward distant places of their own. Life went on. The sun was bright, and the breeze felt liberating. I drove along the coastal highway, with no destination in mind. The windows were down, and salty, damp sea air rushed in. It felt wonderful against my face. An old song played on the radio as I hummed along off-key. My mood was like the sky above me, vast, bright, and cloudless, crystal clear.